Good morning. Good morning. And I will say it again. Good morning. How is everyone today? It's Friday. It's been an interesting and eventful week. And we'll see. We'll check that out. Check this out. And we'll take a look at some low board stuff. We'll talk about what I'm seeing. It is Friday. Some progress on the truck sale and everything else involved in our lives. So, everybody wondering about Shannon. I think she's doing just fine. She survived the hurricane. We've got 2 trucks running around there in Florida doing what they need to do. And so all is well in that world. Sorry I was late this morning. I had to deal with some company business. Drivers come first, man. This YouTube stuff, it can wait, right? It can wait. So beyond that, we've had a pretty successful week with the dispatch, about 19,000 for 4 trucks. So that's pretty good. Some pretty good numbers there. It's been an interesting week. A couple of things that I didn't think that I or we as like trucking had to deal with, but we dealt with it. And learning experience, right? So we've got a couple of things going on, but I thought I had the truck sold, but apparently I don't. So we're still working on that. I got to clean it out. I got to clean out the inside. People are wanting interior pics, and I can't give them because, like, oh, here's my truck with all my stuff in it. You know, that's dumb, right? It's, and beyond that, it's been a pretty good week. Perfect temperature. So if you're out running here in Missouri, man, you're probably it's feeling pretty good. It's supposed to warm up this weekend. A lot of heat alerts out there, so just be aware of that. If you have pets in the trucks, make sure that the truck is cool enough for them, especially if you go off and get a shower or something like that. You don't want them to have a hard time while you're away from the truck if the AC goes out or if the APU goes out. So with that being said, hope all is well with you. Hope everything is good. I've noticed I've been able to uptick my rates a little bit because of the volume, right? There's been an uptick in volumes and it's been working in my favor. So unless you're needing something specific, it's been fairly easy to book loads at decent rates this week. So there's that. That's good. Let's see, got a notification. Let's see what this is about. Oh, no, nothing important. So we got our coffee. I bought some creme brulee flavored coffee. It's pretty good. It's not bad. So let's get to the comments, and then we will look at some low board stuff. So we'll look at some rates here. So all right, we have Don Schonger. You were first, and hello. What's great about that? He's not bragging that he's first. Cheap Freight Hauler. Good morning, everyone. WCF Invader. Yes, I was going in the withdrawal over here. Oh, come on now. CB, what's up? Sterling, hey to the hey now. Hey now. Greg Hayes over on Facebook. Thank you for watching. Sterling, I'm here with panties on. Well, that's a little bit TMI, but hey, whatever floats your boat. Greg Zimmer, what's up? Haven't talked to you in like 3 years. Mrs. A is in the house. Happy Friday. There is the man of the hour. Good morning, Steve. Happy Friday. Long weekend ahead. Have fun, laugh, talk, dance with friends and family. Yes, it's a 3-day weekend. So I hope you have, if you're out there running, I hope you have your plan in place for that. You have a little bit of leverage with the money. So if you're in a good freight area, yeah. And then also we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Labor Day holiday running. Wife Lord is in the facility. New month, new chances. Right. It's September 1st. That's the other thing. It's the first. The lady on the Weather Nation, she said today was the first day of fall. I'm like, no, it ain't. And then she kind of realized her mistake. And we're still in summer, which for many of you it does. I think in like North Dakota it's going to be in like close to 100. Dan's Hot Shot. Good morning. Cheap Freight says, please give me some good news for van loads coming out of Oregon. Okay. We'll look at it, though. Jerome Jones, good morning. My name is Nobody. Good morning. Dying Breed says, when you finally sell your rig, you may need to change your background. Nah, who cares? It's a beautiful truck. I still own the trailer, so technically I'm still good, right? Not selling the trailer. Rates are for sure going up slowly. I had my way with a couple of brokers this week. Yep, there you go. Have you watched any car detailing videos on YouTube? So many great drill brushes, air gun adapter, hand brush, very satisfying to watch. Yes, they'll come up in the shorts, and they probably will now since I'm talking about it. But yeah, there's some tricks of the trade, but I also might just pay a guy. So I might just do that. It's a business expense. It might be worth it for the time. Uh, here's the problem though. They've been working on our road, right? So you guys have seen my live feeds where I'm walking. I live on a dead end road, and what's happening is that this street and the next street over, they are redoing all the pipes. So they've been literally digging everybody's yards up. They've been digging the road up. So now our road is basically a mile of dirt. And so all of the vehicles have dirt all over them, including my truck. So I'm going to have to get the power washer out and rinse everything off. Luckily I've already got the exterior pics before they did all that. So, and I don't like there's an 18-wheeler truck wash here in Stratford. I don't like that place because they have damaged my truck before. So I'm getting the power washer out. I'm not, or it's either that or drive all the way to Joplin, which I'm not going to do that just for a truck wash. So just for it to be dirty later. So, yeah, so there's that. TK, what's up? So hopefully I'll get that done this week. Hey now, says TK. Straight coffee. It is straight coffee. God, it's just a different flavor. It's black though. Jeez. Clean out of the truck is always a tough time. Yes, this one will definitely be tough because that's it, right? It's not like I'll never get in the truck again, but it's definitely. It might sound stupid to someone that just looks at the truck as a tool, but I mean, this thing's been part of my life for 6 years. So it'll be tough, but it'll be actually very elating to get rid of a bunch of stuff that I don't need. Like I can just throw it away. We've got this big dumpster now, and I'm just gonna load it up, and then I have to figure out where I'm gonna put my extra clothes and all that. So it's definitely going to be it's going to be interesting, right? 57 degrees here, says Don. Ammo, New York City is the best car detailing channel. Okay. I just want everyone to know that family is safe and sound in my part of the country. 98% of my area is and will be without basic services and utilities for a minimum of 7 days. Wow. Yeah, I heard that there was 80-90% power outages. And so I told Shannon about that. I said, make sure that you can even get into these places. You might have to just deadhead north to Atlanta just to get out to get loaded because probably nobody's loading out of there. So I haven't talked to her today. So just watch Sterling Wheel. He's always cleaning, upgrading one of his vehicles in his fleet. He is, and he sent me pictures of some detail work. He said he charges $3,500 for a semi. Probably more if he had to come to Missouri to get it done. Every time I take my truck to the truck wash, they power wash my engine. The check engine light immediately comes on for a bit. Don. Do not wash the engine. Here's, you got some guy that's making $10 an hour with a high pressured system aiming that at things that are very expensive. Don. Don't do that anymore. If you want a clean engine, get it steam cleaned, and the dealerships will do that. So, future reference. I have never gotten an engine wash. ever. Now, I was at the Petro there in Hammond, Louisiana, where they have the blue beacon there, and I watched a guy go right from the truck wash into the fuel island, and his truck wouldn't start. And I went up to him and I'm like, "Did you just get your engine washed?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Good luck, buddy." So, Mrs. A makes a very, very good point. If it hasn't sold by GBATs, we could take it to Joplin for a wash and then do the convoy. That is absolutely, that's a great idea. It's a great idea. Dio says, "Good morning. Retired trucker, peeky out when drinking fancy French flavored coffee." There you go. There's your pinky. Pale Rider, I've been meaning to talk to you, so expect a phone call today. Getting rid of a dumpster full of things in your way is very satisfying. Yes, it will be. Where I used to park my truck, they had a big dumpster, and there's been so many times I just wanted to walk up to it, just, boom. And I'm going to do that. But there's a lot of stuff I can't throw away as well. So, I haven't taken it there since January. Thankfully, I don't think they damaged anything in there. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, steam clean only. I've had my engine steam clean a couple of times, especially, I had a fuel line that went out or, that went bust. So had to get that steam clean. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's way safer. So, and if you have a steam cleaner yourself, then you can actually do that yourself. I put my truck in the shop last Friday for a PM and AC fix. They called me Tuesday to let me know they hadn't started on it and to tell me they were closing ahead of the hurricane. Ouch. And you're going through a tough time, Buck Brown. Keep your head up, man. We have prayers for you. I have never qualified to wear a big belt buckle and cowboy boots because I don't own a semi or a jacked up pickup truck with straight pipes or a horse. What are you talking about? When I was a kid, I had a big belt buckle, and cowboy boots are kind of cool, so that's fine. But I own a truck, and I own a pickup truck, not with straight pipes. But I don't wear those things, so it's okay. So now it's being held prisoner. That's one way to look at it. I'd have to look them up. Okay, talking about codes. You'll be here. Good. It's my kind of luck lately, CB. Rockin' Robin says, "Good morning. Currently doing the stupidest rule in trucking, 34-hour reset." I agree with that. 14 hours, you should be able to do what you want, like, whether it's drive or on duty. And then 70-hour, throw it out the window. Because if I had a short day on Monday, well, why should that affect how I roll next Tuesday, the following Tuesday? So, CDN, come to America, you can whatever you want, no questions asked, right? So, all right, let's go over the 1, 2, 3. Let's look at load ratios on DAT as well. Let's do that. Now, something interesting. So DAT is enough people have said a thing or two. Asian Mai did a thing with DIY and about all the fraud. And so they're trying their darndest. And because they've been caught, because they realize that this is a threat to their platform. And so now they have this thing where they're showing you, like, you can't, only a third, because they can only do this a third at a time, but only a third of the brokers can put a different phone number or a different email in the comment line, in the details. And you know what the brokers are doing? They're just going around it. They're spacing things out like you do Craigslist style, Or you know how you do like your phone number? You do like a 818, and you spell the word 8, and then you do the number 1, and then you do the number 0, and then so it's like they're getting around it, right? Now, one of the things that you can prevent is that when you look at the phone number or the email, make sure it has the right .com or the right, or look up the number with your, if your factoring company has it on file, or look through your old Raycons, or look through your carrier agreement to see if the phone number or if that email works. There's and again, that's hard to do going down the road. That's where people like me come in and help out with that. But you got to be careful. And then there's a lot of like it should be .com, but it might be .eu, or it might be you know .ca, or it might be something, and you got to be real careful. I booked a load yesterday from ShipX. That's how it was on the DAT board, and I called on it, or no, I actually emailed, and the email was actually, shipxlogistics.com. So we wheel and deal, and she's like, okay, well, I got to put you part of our new system, so you're going to get email from something.ardent.com. I'm like, whoa, 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 hold the phone. Wait a minute, this doesn't look right. So I went to their website, and sure enough, and I didn't click on the link in the email signature. I actually, typed it into Google, went to the website, and there's a big red strip says, "Be careful of email addresses that don't say this shipxlogistics.com." I'm like, well, now we have a problem. So I called the main line off the website, and it took me forever to get a hold of somebody, but finally another person said, no, we're moving to this. We're rebranding to Ardent, and so that's legit. The email address from your particular broker should read this. I'm like, okay. And then right about that time, the broker called and said, hey, what gives? I'm like, okay, well, we're good. So she explained that anything booked after September 1st was going to have Ardent tagged to it. But I mean, that's how careful you got to be. And so a lot of shenanigans going on, and it's going to put DAT down. It's going to put all the low boards down if they're not careful about this stuff. Verify, verify, verify. And I notice that happens a lot on the West Coast when I'm looking for stuff out of Oregon or anything like that. Oregon, California, especially out of California. So a lot of them are going to Parade or Go Highway, or they're going to these electronic platforms where they won't even post on the low boards anymore. They want their verified carriers to only have access to their low boards. And so when you have a new brokerage like Rig Runner is, then you're playing with fire and having to deal with that. So you want to be able to verify your carriers. So James D, good morning. Sterling, it looks like my ELD saves fault codes for 2 quarters, so I'm unable to see my fault code from January. Russell, what's up? All right, so let's look at load ratios, and then we'll get to the 1, 2, 3 low board, and we'll look at Oregon for cheap freight hauler. So I'm going to tell you right now, it won't look good. Oh, I got to change this. There we go. That works. Or should we do it this way? We'll do it this way. I'll be in the picture. All right, so this is your load ratios for DAT. Arkansas is upside down. By upside down, I mean more loads going in than out. Alabama is upside down. Always usually is. Look at California has flipped. So the brokers that are not giving you money to go into California, well, guess what? They need to stop, because you're not going to get it coming out. So that's interesting to me, because this should be the peak time that freight's coming out of California, and it's not. So keep an eye on that. Colorado, of course, is trash. A lot of upside down numbers here. Florida, of course. Look at Georgia upside down. Iowa's doing pretty good. Illinois is good. Indiana's good. Kentucky is okay. Louisiana upside down. Massachusetts upside down. Maryland is actually not bad coming out. Let's see. Michigan is good. Minnesota's all right. Missouri's okay. Well, Missouri's about even. Mississippi's good. North Carolina's upside down. All the Carolinas going to be upside down. Of course, all the Northeast. New Jersey is more going out than in, so that's good. New York, same thing. New York is in the right spot. Ohio, definitely good. Oregon, that's good news for you. Freight hauler is Oregon is more going out than in. And this is for van, by the way. Texas, horrible. Texas is horrible. I did put a truck in Texas, but I didn't book it until I had a load out of there booked. I booked them at the same time. I love it when I can do that. And I prayed that the load wouldn't cancel. Wisconsin's good. So there you go. So let's go to the hot market maps here. Let's see. Let's look at van since we just did it on DAT. Oregon is red. That's not good news for cheap freight hauler. So your highest paying outbound load is not that one, 53 cents a mile. That's for a van, like a literal van. So it must be expedited. Let's see. Highest rate. Your best paying load is coming out of Ontario, Oregon, going to Oaks, PA, $1.58 a mile, 38.70. $1.82 to go to Cedar Rapids. I would do that one over the Pennsylvania one. Definitely don't want to do Houston or New Mexico. Yeah, here's one I would do. Coos Bay, Oregon to Springdale, Arkansas. Let's take a look at that one. Their posted rate is trash. Yeah, like 2,400. Cargo Chief's got it at 37.99. So that's still not breaking $2 a mile, mind you. But it's 15,000 pounds. Oh, it's an LTL, so that's why it's so low. A lot of LTL hitting the spot market. Here we go. Springdale to Tolleson, or Springfield, Oregon. Sorry. So it's not the greatest rate wise. Now, if you want to look at the rate per mile only, you're looking at all the short stuff, and I guarantee it's all going to California or Washington. Yeah, there's Fresno. Oh, this Medford to Cedar Rapids. It's one I would do. Let's take a look at this. They're above the Cargo Chief. I bet you it's multi-stop. It doesn't say. Direct Connect, pre-approved by Thunder, 82 on TransCredit. And see, you can click on the credit report. Oh wow, it'll give you everything here. Shows you their insurance company and all that. So, but there's your Oregon stuff. GoHighway.com has improved the verification process to onboard carriers. Good deal. Dang, it's a lot of work, Snorelord. I would have passed on that load. That's a ton of work. Super sketchy, by the way. What is Parade Highway? I have access to both, but confused by them. Parade is an AI platform that a lot of brokers are using right now. So, like I have access to Werner, to Red, something Red, Ease Logistics. I mean, there's a lot of brokers, and so instead of answering their phones, what they'll do is they'll give you a website. Go here to bid on the load. Like they don't even want to deal with you. They don't want to talk to you or nothing. And that's the future, people. Um, it's only when you get into the more specialized stuff that needs personal care that you're going to talk to a human. The freight brokers like CDN are going to become the rarity instead of the normal. So just keep that in mind. Let's look at Missouri. Let's see what Missouri's doing. Sikeston to Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Oh, Texas. No, don't want to do that. All right, let's sort this by highest rate. See where the big money's going. St. Charles to Oregon, $5,000. That's encouraging because for a minute we weren't even breaking $5,000 to go out to Oregon from this area. So that's like they were always around 45. They're actually paying a little bit better to go to California now, knowing what they know. But here we go, 504 a mile, St. Louis to Burton, Michigan. Let's see what this is about. Again, it's Friday, and these brokers want to go home, man. They want to get this stuff off their screen. So if you're trying to do the last minute game, you might be able to get some cash. This isn't until the 5th. So they're at 2,800 for 556 miles. I'm going to guess it's probably multi-stop. Or a drop trailer on one end or the other. So 233 to go to Aurora, Colorado, from Sikeston, which is in the Boot Hill there, Missouri. Cargo Chiefs got it at 265 a mile. They're at 233, 43,000 pounds. That's going to be Sikeston. That's going to be the generic soda. Probably going to Walmart. They make the soda for Walmart there, the Carbolicious. SST's in the house. The only thing I disagree with Snorelord is about washing your engine. If it can't survive chaotic pressure washing, your truck is defective. Advice: clean all connections with QD electronics cleaner and use dielectric grease. Midwest usually good. Stay there, right? As soon as you start crossing mountains and paying tolls, it's no bueno. That's kind of my philosophy. Good morning, Mr. Snorelord and all truckers. Greetings from Appleton, Wisconsin. Ready to Philadelphia. I'll stop by home the weekend. Good deal, G Star. Although what really needs to happen is a massive demand. Capacity is still too high to command good rates consistently. Right. So this is true. And so if I can afford to hold the line and try to hold on to my rate, as long as it's not ridiculous, then I can use. I've been pretty successful with that this week. And the short game is where I see the rates coming up. Some of the long game we're seeing it, but most of the loads I booked this week were not phone calls. off the load board. And it's specialized stuff. It's multi-stop stuff that requires work from the drivers. That's where the money's at. And that's what we've gotten. And I've been able to be consistent with that. So there's a lot of stuff that so a lot of times if I'm only booking 2 or 3 trucks and that's all we're doing, I'm not paying attention to the rates because it doesn't affect me. Now, like my multi stuff out of Georgia or Wisconsin, that will fluctuate a little bit depending on the area. Like when Atlanta was hot, I was getting good rates out of there. But now that it's not, it's a little bit, rates have lowered a little bit, but it's still better than what's around the area. So I mean, it's a strategy. It's a long game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And let me give you an example. I think sometimes we as drivers, and I put myself in this category, sometimes we're only focused on the one load. And I was explaining this to another driver the other day. It's like if I gave you a load that went from, say, Kansas City to Carlisle, Pennsylvania for 10 grand, would that save your business? It's like, well, it might help, but it wouldn't save it. I'm like, exactly. So that one load that's under your cost, is that going to make or break you? Well, yeah, it kind of made him think outside the box of like, you can't concentrate on one load. Now, if you are one load from going out of business, that's a problem. If one load can put you out of business simply because of the rate, you weren't in a good position to begin with. That's not a good place to be. And it's those people that will take that $300 load when they could have gotten $600 or $700. Those are the people that are grabbing that $1.10 sometimes to get to California because they got to keep moving. And so the balance is you got to keep moving, but also don't put yourself in a situation where you got to be desperate. You don't want to sit for 3 days either, waiting for the one load that's going to make or break you. Sitting is what will break you. And I learned that lesson almost the hard way. So I'm not perfect. But when I'm dispatching a truck, if I go, hey, man, couldn't find anything, so you're going to sit for a day or two, they'll be like, screw you, man. We got to come up with something. Deadhead if we have to. Let's go. And so when you have that mentality, you'll make money. I've seen it over and over with our own fleet. I've seen it over and over with my own deal, with the trucks I dispatch and myself. Sometimes you just got to keep moving. But if one load ain't going to rescue you, just like one load won't put you under. Now, if you do that every single load, or if you're below your number every single week, then yeah, now you have a problem. And it changes day by day in the spot market. I can show you the graphs that prove that. They look like EKGs, or up, down, up, down. So you got to figure out how to make that as even as you can and prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And paying attention to demand. Yeah, demand's going to be down. This Christmas season is going to be interesting. Sorry, I had to let the cat in. I love how brokerages don't want to talk to book a load, but want to call you day and night for check calls. Well, they use the call centers for that. CB. Scott Rolla, good morning. On my way to Phoenix. Don't forget it's holiday weekend. Yes, we're going to talk about that a little bit. So Parade Integration pulls loads from brokers TMS and posts on Parade, essentially the broker's internal load board. GoHighway.com is an alternative to RMIS, more in-depth review of carrier for fraud, safety, etc. Southbound, what's up? The Mexico to Topeka load has a drop trailer for 3 days. There you go. Tailgating freight with electric pallet jack is where it's at. I did 2 stops like that last night. Says come on with it. There's a load I regularly take that isn't really profitable, but it gets me to an area where I can get loads back that are very profitable. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how you do it. I've never hauled a loaded trailer from Portland to Reno. The big company I work for now doesn't worry about it. I couldn't skip revenue as an owner operator. Short game, in my opinion, is much better if you can get on top of the fuel economy than what others expect. The SBA can help with day-to-day business needs to weather the storm long term if anyone needs. Look for the top SBA lenders and go from there. One challenge is you tell a broker you took the previous 2 loads way below market to help the other brokers. This broker don't care about your previous loads. That's true. So anytime like, hey, I'm looking at this load going to Los Angeles, and they're like, oh yeah, it's paying $1.20 a mile. Well, how do you justify that? Well, you're going to get good money coming out of there. How do you know? Do you have a crystal ball? And so if you make it to LA and you talk to that broker like, and you go like, man, I just went out here for $1.20 a mile. And the broker's like, so why'd you do that? Here's your $1.60. Have at it, man. And so my theory is, or my philosophy, or whatever, I don't put myself in that situation. I want to stay in areas where it's decent in and out. You get more consistency. You get less of the, because a lot can happen on your way. Maybe California's hot right now. By the time you get there, though, it's going to fall off a cliff. Small businesses drives our economy, and we need everyone here to thrive. This is true. Our brokerage doesn't use call center for check calls. I'm glad because I wish others wouldn't. Dogs have masters, cats have servants. This is true. I'm getting $1.60, including fuel surcharge, making pretty good. There you go. That works for you. That works for you. Leased onto a carrier. Yeah, dogs are man's best friend, and cats are annoying. I love cats. I like cats. I like cats and dogs. 2 different dynamics there. So let's look at Reefer Freight here. A little bit different. Washington's not red. This area is kind of lit up a little bit. Let's take a look at what's coming out of Idaho. I think we have a driver coming out of there. Go all the way to Massachusetts for $2.32 a mile. That's actually, well, Twin Falls to North Carolina, $2.43. They're paying a little bit better per mile on that one. So let's say, do I go to Massachusetts or North Carolina? Let's take a look at this North Carolina one. Let's see how many backhauls there are. Let's say you live in Idaho because you're weird. All right. 121 loads going back or coming out of North Carolina. There's 0 going back to Idaho. So let's take a look at the stuff coming out of Zebulon. Such an interesting name. A lot of 8-hour plus loads. It's early in the morning, so that's probably why. Yeah, there's some postings going on. This one's paying $424 to go to Maryland. So you're looking at, you can kind of get an idea. The highest paying stuff is going northeast. So if we go by the highest overall rate, Florida, Oklahoma, Miami. So we all know how that's turning out. So let's take a look at Washington. Let's see what's coming out of there. 53 Reefer, anywhere going to PA. All right, $5. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Let's see. We'll take a look at that. So here's what we do. We go to find loads, create new search. Actually, we'll do it this way. There isn't an anywhere option on the origin. So let's look at PA. We'll click on it. Oh, we got it on any trailer. We got to put it on Reefer here. So you put in Reefer, hit apply, and then hit PA, and then you click on inbound. Boom. There you go. There's your deal there. So the highest paying one is posted rate, mind you. This is posted rate $67.50 to go from Washington to Bethlehem, PA. Let's click on that one. September 1st picks up today. Delivers. Well, it doesn't deliver till I don't have my map. I don't have my calendar switched yet. Frozen food, so you're going to use a lot of reefer fuel. They're right at where Cargo Chief is. So don't know if it's multi-stop or not. You got 64 to go to Harrisburg, 54 to go to. See, these guys are like literally $1,000 less. Now we're down to $2,000 less. Hey, but I'm getting $321 a mile versus 262. So there's your freight. Here's Phoenix to Center Valley, PA. There you go. So and then the outbound. So if we switch to outbound, highest paying load is Scranton to California for $5,000. But per mile, you're looking at 45 to go from PA to Florida for $412 a mile. Now I'm guessing that there's going to be some really good money going into Florida right now because of the hurricane. Oh, look, it's got 6 extra stops. So 7 stops. That's why that pays so well. Sterling says, thank you. You're welcome. Washington, PA used to be very lucrative for me. I could see why. And then PA back to Washington. Do all right. CDN says it takes time to learn a new lane. If you're exploring new lanes, just know it'll be a roller coaster to figure out the players and the best paying lanes. Consistency running the same area trumps chasing money. 100%. there, CDN. I agree with that 100%. It's how I've always learned to run. Even when I was a company driver, we did the same stuff all the time. I know Pennsylvania so well. We'd go out to Pennsylvania, or we'd go out to Salt Lake, or we went to Atlanta over and over. That's what we did. And on occasion, we get a spot load back to where we needed to be. That's what this design was. That's the design for a successful trucking company. So my guys that are coming out of Denver, or guys and gals, sorry, that are coming out of Denver, we beeline right back. So, we do what we can. My dog prefers cats. Is he a cat eater? But there's going to be some FEMA loads probably going out to Florida. So power only is probably pretty big right now, going out to Florida, Georgia. And FEMA loads. But just get your money going in, because you're not getting anything coming out, especially now. That's how Florida rolls, right? So, but all right, let's take a look at flatbed. Pacific Northwest is doing good. All right. Let's take a look at Washington. Let's see what's coming out of Washington. Where's the big money at? $1.56 go from Washington to Texas. $1.52. Is it me, or is this worse than drive-in rates? A lot of people that went from van to flatbed are like, I'm trying to avoid the $1.50s. They're trying to avoid the $1.80s. That's why I switched to flatbed. Now I'm doing a lot more work for the same amount of money I was making 6 months ago in van. So now you're inbound. Let's take a look at that. 239, $6,000 to go from Logan, Ohio to Arlington, Washington. Rates ain't so good coming out of the Northeast there. Hurley, Wisconsin, the Sequim, Washington. Sorry. Of course, Wisconsin's yellow, so you're going to get a lower rate. Now, but here's the trick, though, and I know a driver doing this. Let's go by rate per mile. That brings up most of your short game. Where's your short game running? Oregon to Washington. But then it kind of drops. $1.69 a mile to go from California to Washington. So flatbed in the West is no bueno. Let's take a look at PA. Highest paying load out of PA is $1.93 a mile, rate per mile. Oh, no, we've got it on age. No, that's rate. Let's put it on rate per mile. $700 to go from Pennsylvania, Ohio, PA to New Jersey. It says $595 a mile, $745, but you're looking at only $700, $500. And if you're at an 80% company, or even an 85% company, that's 85% of $500, unless you're getting 3 of these a day, which I doubt. So when you look at this in Pennsylvania, short game is not it. It's not great. What you're looking for is these $1,400 deals you can do in a day, 327 miles. Now in a van, 400 for 95 miles, that might be okay, but not when you're tying and strapping and chaining and tarping. So you look for the loads that'll bring you to $1,000 a day. And if it's something like this, it's 350. Well, you would want to know if you could do 2 or 3 a day. And so a lot of people look at short haul and say, "Well, it's not worth it." It just depends on what your needs and what your wants are. I like the short haul game for myself. I got a couple of drivers that's all they do, and they're happy with it. And then you got people that say, "Man, give me the best paying thing on the board, man. Let's go." And that's fine too, man. That's the beauty of choice. That's the beauty of freedom. My pet crow is going mad. So let's take a look at Texas. Actually, Texas has got 960 inbound and 228 outbound, 162 intrastate. 244 to go from Laredo to British Columbia. Let's do the highest rate per mile. That's going to be all your intrastate stuff. New Mexico pops up. Colorado, 320 to go to Colorado. Actually, not too bad. 2450 to go from Pasadena to Roxana, Illinois. Let's take a look at that one. Hazmat. That's why it's got money on it. Who's Circle Logistics? So pressing the like button will make you successful. I don't know about that, but it definitely helps me. It can help you too. Acceleration Rules says make more as company driver, especially in flatbed. Believe that. So, but anywho, I got to get to work, guys. My phone is going off. I hope all is well with you guys. So the strategy for this weekend is confirm. Give me a sec. So the strategy is make sure that if it's a delivery on Sunday or Monday, make sure that delivery is verified so you're not seeing surprisingly over the weekend. My strategy usually for a holiday weekend that lands on a Monday, like Labor Day or Memorial Day, is to have a load that either takes you through the house, so you can spend your time at home, or it's a longer run that you're running anyways. So it's not like, it's like you don't have the day off. If you do have the day off, enjoy it. If you're working this weekend, be safe. DOT is going to be out probably. The cops are going to be out looking for speeders. And just be safe, be smart. So with that being said, strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Aggression turns to screws. Have a great weekend, everybody. Well, maybe we might go live tomorrow night. I don't know, but I keep saying that and I never do. So we'll see. That being said, thanks, guys. Peace.